What's going on, and welcome to episode 2 of Control Alt Record. With you tonight are your hosts Brett, Grax, Michael. My name's Chris. In tonight's show, we're going to be talking about Snowflake's Chance, moments in history with Brett, Osiris New Dawn's new beta. We have also the return of the Control Alt Record quiz, and something a little bit different towards the end we're going to call Trailer Lark. We'll explain what that is later on. If you do enjoy the show, jump onto iTunes to give us a rating and a review. Also jump onto our social media channels with Facebook and Twitter, as well as YouTube. We'll have all the links to those outlets in the description of this episode. But that's it. Let's get into the show.
You're listening to Control Alt Record.
All right, so before we get into the main meat of the show, we have a couple of different news articles or sort of news features, I guess, that we wanted to sort of raise in a section that we kind of call shit news, just because they're just dumb pieces of news, I guess. Brett, you had something first. Do you want to go first, and then we'll go with what I had?
No, I want to hear your one first. I reckon.
No, you go first.
No, you go first.
All right.
Just do it.
So, as we know, Destiny 2 released recently, and Bungie have got themselves in a little bit of hot water with a particular symbol that they've included into their sort of armor pieces, which actually turns out, well, they say they didn't realize, and fair enough. The symbol on the sort of arm of a armor piece spells out or supposed to spell out KEK or Kek, which is actually a World of Warcraft reference. Yeah, in terms of like the language in that game, except the way they designed it on the sleeve of the arm actually was nearly identical to a Nazi, where is it here? The Nazi German war flag. So they've been very quick. No, not the swastika.
Different one?
Yeah, so what it is actually, quickly, if you want to have a quick sort of squiz at it, we can post these. It's all over, I think, social media at the moment.
Post it up on Facebook so people can have a look.
Yeah, we'll post up on Facebook, but this is just a sort of a link if you want to have a quick look at that, just so you have an idea what I'm talking about. We'll post the links on our Facebook page after. But you can see where the KEK is on the arm of the sleeve. It matches the KE or the K3 sort of horizontal lines followed by a backwards K after that, or the right way K round, depends which way you look at it, is actually just nearly identical to, like I said, the Nazi war flag symbol.
Wow.
So they've been very quick to jump onto social media and say, yeah, whoops, our bad, didn't mean to do that. We apologized. Obviously, they're very quickly going to patch that and get that out. So just a bit of a, good on you, Bungie.
Is that a publicity stunt or?
Yeah, how does something like that make it through QA? Like if the game's been out not even a week and people are all over that. Like how did they miss that in beta or any of that stuff?
Who knows? But I guess their original theory was that it was supposed to originate from the WoW KEK sort of reference.
Kek, haven't you heard of like the Church of Kek? It's like it's associated with that. You guys might not have heard of this. That KEK, it's like a 4chan meme, and they like summoned an ancient Egyptian deity, and it takes its form as Pepe, and that's the reason why Donald Trump got elected. Have you heard this?
What? No.
I'm hearing it now, and I'm not believing it.
Well, look at it. Okay, go look up just Cult of Kek. It's an ancient Egyptian. Frog god. And there's it's very complicated process in which like 4chan, like if you post, you get these random numbers, and apparently there's a bunch of numbers that were lucky numbers, and they were associated with this frog god Kek, and then it turned into like this association with Pepe the Frog, and then it turned into association with Donald Trump. So look it all up; it's very, very interesting.
Did you just know this off the top of your head? Or did you?
Yes. And if you look up, there's some like ancient hieroglyphs that, if you look at the ancient hieroglyphs of the frog god Kek, it looks like a man sitting in front of a computer, which is completely insane because it's like, how would that happen? And there's all these really weird, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Really weird synchronicities associated with this frog god, Pepe the Frog, 4chan, and Donald Trump. And some people think like,
but I think you can find any. You can find any.
No, Chris, you don't understand. You need to go and look at like people.
I'm looking on a website right now, theconversation.com, how an ancient Egyptian god spurred the rise of Trump. And I can see this little computer symbol that you're talking about, and underneath the statue of the frog. But I can see obviously the person there. It looks like he's potentially praying to something, and then obviously the interpretation is that's the computer. But then when you look at the symbol, I think more closely, I think that more resembles the sort of hood of death to me personally, like the Reaper. Like the sort of
anyway, but there's other similarities as well. Like, of course, apparently he taught the mimetic entity Keck talks through the number 777777, and like that number occurred on a number of key posts. It's like very interesting. I don't know how much you guys know about mimetic entities.
Nothing.
But it's very entertaining and humorous and insane because it's like some people are like, well, the users of 4chan summoned an ancient Egyptian god to get Donald Trump elected. It's probably the weirdest and funniest thing to come out of that election.
To be fair, when I actually kind of saw this and brought this up about the whole Destiny 2 armor piece, I had no idea this was about to segue into Egyptian gods and frog gods trying to elect Donald.
I got to tell you, though, I just clicked on a link on knowyourmeme.com coming from the Keck thing, and it's gone into Kekistan, and there's a flag with literally that KEK, like the armor piece, on a flag. It's like uncanny. It's like someone's done some dodginess there, for sure.
Jesus. Okay, well, there you go.
Man, it's crazy.
I don't think you should have really brought this up, Chris, because I think it's probably brought the attention of whatever ancient entity is probably either going to smite us now. So thanks for the curse, Chris. Good work.
Fantastic.
Well, they already smited us with, or smooted us, if that's, I don't think that's
smote.
I just made that.
Smote.
They smoten us with Donald Trump already, so we're already cursed as is. So everybody's fine.
Look, I think it's just been made up by the PC gamers that are pissed that have got to wait for Destiny 2 to come out while the console people are playing it. That's what I reckon. That's my conspiracy theory.
It is a bit annoying that you have to wait, whatever, like a couple extra months. Like, why can't they release
Everyone
it
else
the
will
same
be
time?
the end of October.
Is it going to have cross-platform? We're diverging here, but is it going to be able to play cross-platform with the console people?
No.
Or not? Oh, well.
No, to be fair,
unfair.
It's true.
Unfair.
What is there any reason for the delay, Chris, with the PC version?
I couldn't tell you if there's a reason. I think their focus is consoles for Bungie. Always have been consoles. And
no, they used to release.
I don't know if there's a serious one.
They used to always work on PC. Remember Myth? You've already forgotten Myth, and you've forgotten Bungie. They used to work on Macintosh. Then they went to PC with Myth. Oh, Chris, your history, my friend. Know your history, my friend.
I'm thinking about Halo for Bungie.
Yeah, exactly. That's where my mind went.
Bungie comes out of but Halo comes from. I mean, they started with Marathon.
Yeah, but no one cares about back then. That's too long ago to worry about.
Chris just literally said they've always been on consoles, but I'm just letting you know that isn't true.
Since it matters, I think he means.
Okay. I stand corrected from a game from like 20 years ago, but I don't know if there is a specific reason as to why Destiny has to wait to come out onto PC. Maybe it's because they haven't. They've gone Destiny 1 through the consoles. They haven't done FPS on PC before, unless I'm wrong. Just waiting for Michael.
Well, they've done Marathon on. I think Marathon may have been ported over to PC. I'm not too sure. It's definitely on Macintosh. Marathon Infinity. Look it up.
How old is this game? This is like before we were even born, probably.
It's like a competitor to Doom. Look up Marathon Infinity.
Oh yeah, a massive competitor. Everyone knows about Marathon and versus Doom. That was a big thing. I remember that.
yeah.
There's a small section of cyberspace dedicated to it.
It's probably also, I reckon, maybe a sales thing. Like, okay, get the consoles version out early September. Everyone builds all the hype, and they kind of go, "Oh yeah, this is really cool." And then 2 months later, another round of sort of sales because of all the PC
it's
people.
Probably a sales
and
thing.
Christmas closer to Christmas too. People want it for Christmas.
Definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then your PC people are getting on board, going, "Oh, this is awesome," and people that haven't bought it on console, then they re-energize that level of
And you
sales
get
for
people
them.
like Chris who will buy
Just
on
goes-
both platforms, and they get double sales. Double sales.
Chris has already
Yeah.
bought 10 copies, I think, because it's, in the Blizzard launcher.
Oh yeah, I bought Destiny 2 on PlayStation 4 yesterday or the day before, and I'm gonna buy it again for PC so I can play with you lot. So
You're going to buy it on Xbox?
Oh, so you're already playing it on the PS, the PlayStation.
Spoilers.
4.
Spoilers.
yes, yeah, I picked it
Oh,
up yesterday or the day before, I think.
You didn't get it
I
on the
can't
day of
change.
release, Chris.
No, I was trying to hold out for PC, but I only,
what kind
I
of
only held out
fan
a
are
whole
you?
week.
I thought you were.
It's
I
got
thought
no
you were a
impulse
fan.
control.
I'm ashamed that it took me a whole week to wait, but I was going to wait for PC, but then that didn't happen. But I'll get it on PC as well because I got friends that play on PlayStation. Then I got you lot, so I'll cover
Well,
both.
he doesn't
love
refer
it.
to us as friends.
You lot.
It's just like
you
you.
lot.
Yeah, I've got friends. And then
I play with my friends, and then you other assholes.
It can't be deep, bro. It can't be deep. Far out.
So okay, let's move on to what was this? Brett, what did you have?
Oh,
You
okay,
said
well,
you found
my news is not gaming related. It was just something that caught my eye.
Is it going to take that long? Like another 10 minutes?
No, it should be quick. So this is Indonesia deploys soldiers to protect against marauding monkeys. So Indonesia has deployed armed police and
It's
soldiers
Planet of the Apes?
to help villagers on the island of Java fight back against marauding monkeys that have been terrorizing the area, stealing food and even attacking vulnerable elderly residents and a child. The long-tail macaques have been growing increasingly bold in their interactions with humans.
Is this like early days of Planet of the Apes?
Well, they're
It
not
must be.
even ape. These are monkeys.
Gotta watch out for those macaques.
I think apes aren't as much of a problem. Like, they're not chimps. These are like little.
Yeah, but they're gonna. I think that's good because they've probably all got rabies. It's pretty bad, pretty deadly. And you guys are laughing, but probably you don't know about the fact that Australia has lost a war to emus before. I bet you didn't know that.
Is that why they're on that coat of arms?
What are
Apart from the fact that they can't walk backwards?
All right, if you guys don't believe me, go put into Google "Great Emu War" and you tell me what comes up.
Have you been smoking
No,
something,
I'll-
Michael? Because some of the shit you're
I'll
coming
pass.
out with is like.
I'll
Put it into Google.
Did they
right
have
now,
anything to do
Great
with Donald
Emu
Trump
War.
being elected?
I don't think the listeners care about
Emu
Google.
War. Listeners, you put it. Yep,
Okay.
put it. Go ahead and put it into your search engines, listeners. The Great Emu War. Australia lost in 1932. We lost to the emus.
So
You're
anyway,
just
back to the
full of
monkeys
shit,
for a
aren't you?
sec.
Just like full of like
no,
random stuff.
But have you guys looked it up? Have you looked it
No.
up? Have you looked it
Guys,
up? Do it right
guys,
now, Chris.
Can we just stay on topic? Just talk
Yeah.
about these monkeys. Basically, one interesting thing to say about it is they basically their natural habitat is being destroyed, and that's why they're coming into areas with humans. So it's kind of our fault.
It's always our fault. Humans
People
are
like these
just-
bloody monkeys, but stop knocking down their forests and stuff, and they won't have to come in and
100%.
find food.
100%.
Yeah.
Planet of the Apes. We're all
Stop
doing it.
buying palm olive related products, and people stop bulldozing and burning down the forest there.
Yeah.
Apparently, they have to use different tactics. Like if they use slingshots on them, and then then the monkeys adapt, and they get used to that, and then they're not scared anymore because they know how to deal with it. So you have to
Is
constantly
that
come
palm
up with
olive
new
thing a bit
ways.
too political for everyone?
They are intelligent creatures,
Well, yeah, they are, but then
Smarter than some humans,
smarter
I would
than
wager.
emus.
Well, yeah, it's like if the humans are using slingshots, then I don't know if they are going to win that one.
No, they better step it up. So there you go. That
Weapons
was
of mass
my
destruction.
shit news. That's unrelated to gaming.
Now, both of you guys have sort of misunderstood shit news the way I see it. I'll just tell you that much. Chris, you had real news. Brett, you had sort of unrelated to gaming news. What shit news is meant to be, my co-hosts and dear listeners, is meant to be like just the most boring, inane, like
We should have done that
mindless
instead then.
marketing PR like dribble that we can find, and then we share that. That's what a shit news is meant to be.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, my interpretation of shit news, although tonight's didn't really represent that, is just random things that happen across the world that you may not have heard of to sort of bring to your attention.
Yeah.
Like, what was the one that we had someone, one of my mates, Tyler, sent us? What was that movie poster about the donuts?
Attack of the Killer Donuts or something?
Attack of the Killer Donuts. It's sort of like there was a movie made where it's like, for so long you've been eating them and now they're going to eat back or something. It's just like, that is just random. To me, it's like, okay, it's just random pieces of sort of things
We'll
that
work
are
the
happening
segment
that.
out. We'll work it out.
Yeah, I just thought
It will evolve, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure a lot of things.
Can I just share something with you guys?
Is it about emus?
Well, pretty sure you're going to anyway.
The Emu War, also known as the Great Emu War, was a nuisance wildlife management operation undertaken in Australia over the latter part of the 1930s to address public concern of the number of emus said to be running amok in the Campion district of Western Australia. The unsuccessful attempts to curb the population of emus, a large flightless bird indigenous to Australia, employed soldiers armed with Lewis guns, leading the media adopt the name Emu War when referring to the incident. While a number of the birds were killed, the emu population persisted and continued to cause crop destruction.
Michael, I think you were thinking that we didn't believe you. It wasn't that; it was that we didn't give a shit.
Yeah. So that's why that is called shit news, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, you hurt me, Brett.
Sorry,
You hurt my feelings.
monkeys are more interesting than emus.
Marauding monkeys.
Marauding monkeys.
Yep.
They're going to weaponize. Watch out. Planet of the Apes is happening.
So that part went extremely longer than I think we originally
Let's
anticipated.
step up the pace,
So-
guys.
So what we'll do, we'll move on to Snowflake's Chance. So we'll just do that one next. So this is actually a indie game that I've actually been playing lately. It's actually, where is it here? Let me just bring up my...
That's the game that you were cursing and carrying on
Look,
and complaining
so-
about the other day because it was so...
It was. But,
He was,
okay,
wasn't he?
He was going
Let's have a
bananas.
whinge.
In a good way.
In a good way, because it's a very challenging game. So look, what I'll do, basically, I'll give you the description. The game is actually made by someone from Melbourne, and I believe he's just...
Hang on, Chris. I feel like this is a good time to give everyone a rundown of our new review structure. Perhaps you should do that.
Sure. Okay. No, I can do. So when we talk about games, whether they're sort of indie games or sort of AAA games, the framework we're going to stick to, we give ourselves a 5-minute time limit.
That won't happen.
And try not to go over that. We'll include the title, the genre, description of the settings, the favorite mechanics of the game, favorite sound, graphics, design from the game, the actual our favorite sort of gameplay moments that we've had so far, and we'll give it a score out of 10. And those 10 sort of icons, I don't think we really decided on that if it's going to be 10 joysticks or 10
Control
something, 10 control alts or something like that.
I reckon it should be like 10 resets because, like, Control Delete, you reset your computer.
Oh, yeah, good one, Brett.
Hey,
Oh, look at him contributing.
look at this guy. Where'd he come from?
I think
Who got
that
him
works.
in?
This guy should be on our podcast.
Yeah, we should recruit him.
In the shadows.
After that, we have just basically opened up to questions. Each co-host or each will be able to ask one question about the game, and we move on from there. Keep it short and simple and to the point. So I'll get my timer ready.
Uh-oh.
Hang
Have we
on.
got like a buzzer at the end? So if you
I've got a timer up if you want.
with
I'll
a
use the
30-second
timer if you
warning,
like.
so you start talking really fast
but-
towards the end.
Is the timer going to, like, talk over the top of him while he's doing his review and put him under pressure?
Probably.
Nah.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
That would be good. It'll ruin
Okay.
the review.
Hey,
though.
Oh, guys. Can I just say something?
Yeah.
I've made a mistake. It's not... the game that Bungie made for PC was Myth, not Mythic. so sorry about that, everyone.
Yeah, what
Which game was it?
Anyway,
Myth or Mythic?
Snowflake's Chance.
Yeah, moving on.
Okay. So Michael, you got a timer?
Yep. Timer.
All right.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so Snowflake's Chance. It's a game that has been made by someone by the name of Carl Morgan. He's based from Melbourne, Australia. So I'm going to read you the description of his game. So it's a scurrying, scampering side-scroller. You play as the hapless rabbit Snowflake. You have 99 chances to escape the pit. Every time you die, the evil
Should it be
Snowflake
called
grows
Snowflake's
strong.
Chances then?
I don't know.
I've stopped the timer.
sorry.
timer.
Okay,
Brett,
keep going.
Brett has just wasted his question. Chris, you may address Brett's question. Go ahead.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm starting the timer again.
Okay. So you claw your way back up 21 brutal levels across a variety of areas. Enlist, when they say enlist, it's in quotations, the help of other unfortunate critters to aid you in your escape. You will need to run, dodge, and hide from your enemies to make it through. You are weak and ineffectual. Don't slip. The pit runs through the entire game. So if you fall, you might find yourself at the very bottom again. So that's kind of the description of the game. The game itself, it says it's a side scroller. it is in sense, but it's actually more of, I find, a vertical scroller because you're heading back up. You start the game off in sort of what is a peaceful green environment, and then the ground opens up, sucks you in, and you fall into a giant pit, and you begin in an area that essentially represents, it looks like hell. So as your goal is to get back to the top, but as you're doing that, there are many challenges and obstacles that are in your way that you then have to sort of get past. As part of your journey, you're going to come across enemies that sort of take the form of other animals, like sort of what look like wild hogs and pigs and things like that, that are trying to eat you. They all look like they've got like leprosy and things like this. They're all falling apart and melting.
Zombies.
So, maybe. Yeah, sure. Why not? They look kind of dead, I guess. So the mechanics of the game are pretty straightforward. It's sort of, left, right, side scroller, space to jump. Where I think it kind of gets interesting is sort of the stealth mechanics. You can sort of hide behind bushes. So then certain animals will walk past you if they don't notice you. But then you also can, to get around them, you can use, like it says about other type of critters, is you can actually find like puppies, for example, where you can then pick them up and throw them in the line of where you're going. So when sort of these other creatures come looking for you and they come across a puppy instead, they'll eat the puppy right in front of you. And as they're doing that, you see sort of blood sort of splitting out all over the place. And when we sort of talk about the part of this section around the sound and the design of that, when you're seeing the pigs eating like a little puppy and you hear the screaming of the puppy while you're running away, it's sort of quite horrific. So some of my favorite mechanics of the game is probably or favorite part of the game is actually the deaths. It gets actually really challenging, but there's so many different ways you can actually die in it. You can fall off a ledge, land on a giant sort of pillar or a spike. You can get sucked into walls from black sort of oozy looking things. You can get eaten. There's things you can fall into lava, and every time you die, the screams from the rabbit that you play as, it, like I said, just kind of comes back to that horrific sort of feel sorry type for the creatures. So favorite moment, hard to sort of say because it's a very challenging game, but I think maybe the challenge is the favorite part of it, because when you continually try to go up and up and up and you keep failing at a certain point, and you finally pass it, it gives you that sort of satisfaction of accomplishment. So in terms of a score for this game, look, for something that's like $7 on Steam, and what I believe, I could be wrong, but Carl looks to be on his own because he's the only name that's sort of mentioned on his website. I think there's a sound designer as well, but he seems to be the main guy. For him to do this, what seems to be on his own, and for $7, I think it's a well worth game that people should go and check out and pick up. Out of 10, look, it's hard to.
1 minute remaining.
Is this
I'm not
allowed to ask him a question, am I?
No.
Nah, you ruined it on that stupid question before.
1 minute remaining.
So I would say, look, it's going to have to be, I'd say an 8 out of 10. Like, I think it's a really well-rounded game. It's really worthwhile playing. It leaves you in situations where you can become frustrated with it, as you two heard last week as we're on Discord and I was sort of swearing at it and going off at it. But when you get past those obstacles, it actually becomes like you've felt like you've accomplished it. But then the big challenge is when you start to progress through the levels, because if you make one slip up and you fall down the center, you can end up back at the very start again. So, and that can happen at any time if you muck up when you're jumping across gaps or getting knocked off edges or running and you stuff up, you can fall to the very beginning and just have to start all over again. So that's it. I think it's really worthwhile. I think if you chuck it on your wish list, if you're not 100%
Time's
sure.
up.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So good. Well done, Chris. Perfectly timed. I think you're just wrapping up. I'll give you a free couple of seconds to sort of finish what you thought.
Any questions?
Oh, okay.
I lost my train of thought to what I was saying.
What?
So,
What do you mean? By me yelling times up over the top of you, sure.
what was the last thing I was saying? I think it's worthwhile. I think, okay, $7, chuck it on your Steam wish list, follow it, or check out a video on it. I think it's worth your time. That's kind of it in the end. So any questions? Anything you guys want to know more about the game?
So many questions, but I'm not allowed to ask them. So
all right, Brett, you can have my question then. I'll give it up. I'll give you my question.
Oh, I was only joking.
I told you. I called your fucking bluff, didn't I, mate?
You did, you knew.
Got it, yes. I don't necessarily have a question, but I got a couple of observations. Like when you mentioned it the other day, you were going to talk about it. I had a quick look on Steam, and the first thing I thought of when I watched the couple of trailers and the screenshots that are there, it gave me sort of flashbacks of games back in like Yana Sisters and Mario Brothers, those sort of side-scrolling, jumping sort of games. But another one I was thinking of today, and I don't know if you guys have ever played it, was back on the old Amiga. There's a game called Flashback, and there was another one called Another World. The side-scrolling game. They were awesome, and that, this is what this Snowflake's Chance reminds me of them, but in a completely different kind of way. Like it's a bit more cartoony, and you're
Flashback was like one of my favorite games when I was a kid.
Yeah, so Flashback and Another World. And Another World was one they recently redid as a mobile game, which was kind of cool. But anyway, that's a different topic. But it looks interesting, and it's great that it's like one guy from Melbourne, doing his thing.
When you're actually looking at the design of it as well, like he's drawn all that, like all the graphics is him drawing sort of the scenery and sort of the characters, and that's sort of where it's all come from. So I think like if it is Carl on his own, it's done. He's done well. I
love seeing the indie guys get up and make stuff that they want and people get behind it. It's really good to see.
Yeah, definitely. So like I said, worth a check out, I think, if you're into indie games and things like that. Anything else you guys want to know? Any other questions before we move on to the next bit?
I've got a question. I don't want to lose my question. My question is,
you didn't have a question, did you?
My question,
crickets.
How realistic a depiction of hell do you think it is? Is it what you imagine the eternal realm, the infernal realm to be like?
Yes. Yeah, it's all okay. So it's all fire and lava and
there's like Terraria,
orange and red and things. Yeah, like picture
inside a volcano.
Picture Terraria. There's all statues of demonic-looking devils and creatures and things like that. So. I think, look, if you're going to picture hell, this is what hell's going to look like. There's nothing different about it than anything else. So otherwise, picture the bottom of Terraria where it's all fire and lava and statues and creatures flying around.
Is that what you think hell would be like, Chris?
Well, I guess that's very commercially how it would be depicted or looked like.
I'll tell you what I reckon. I reckon it'd be like... I reckon it'd be like... I reckon it'll be like... So you get there and then it's heaven, right? Like it's lovely and nice. Everyone loves it, and then you realize like you're stuck there for eternity. So then it's like, oh no!
The fact that it's just eternity.
Like, I'm here for infinity, and then it's like, oh no, that's an eternity to realize that I hate everything I love, and that's probably the worst punishment.
But then, what would heaven be? Because that's what they say. Heaven is.
Well, heaven is just the extinguishment of being. I would.
Okay. So there's only one afterlife, and that's
do you
hell.
think that? Not that we're going to go down a religious path or anything like that, but do you think... okay. Yeah, there we go.
Philosophy with Michael.
Do you think everyone's hells would be different to someone else? Because like going off your sort of theory there where it's all peaceful and things like that, and then you're there forever, and then that becomes...
just to simplify, I'm slightly Eastern in my thoughts here that hell would be constant rebirth, and then the only way to, that you come back and back and back and back and back.
Groundhog Day.
Born. Anything good is eventually going to be terrible. So really, the only heaven is like extinguishment of being.
I 100% agree there.
So do you think
my version of hell is just Australian internet? No.
That's close enough. Close enough. I think we're living the dream
up there in the realms of evil.
So do you think like gamer's hell could be? For me personally, like sometimes I can play games for hours and hours and hours on end throughout the night, blah, blah, blah. But there does come a point where it's sort of like, okay, I'm over this. So do you think like a gamer's hell could be then you're just stuck playing that one game?
Yeah, and you've got like really slow internet. Like, when it's like, slow internet is worse than no internet?
No. In my thought, it would be like...
Dial-up internet.
It would be like the best level ever, but then you have to play it over and over and over and over again. And your initial like... delight turns to absolute horror.
What if you don't want to play it anymore? You're just like, no, I'm not doing that.
Well, that's hell. That's why it's hell. You can't do it.
You can't escape. Repetition.
Wow. Egyptian gods game as hell. Jesus.
It's all,
Sorry.
wow, we're
I'm sorry.
very negative.
Cover all the topics here.
I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry.
No, this is a
all
deep
happening.
podcast. It's good.
No, we're covering all bases, covering all grounds here. So coming into next, so we've got moments in history with Brett. So you're going to have to top this one. This is your area.
We've already had moments in history.
Yeah.
No, we have,
Emu
haven't we,
wars and all that
actually?
kind of.
I mean, this
Egyptian
doesn't
gods
have
and
this
frogs.
doesn't have anything on Emu Wars, but
Oh, I thought you didn't like that, Brett.
what was one of your GoldenEye 64? Was that one of your?
He's got a golden eye. What?
I'm a
I
professional.
kind of feel there was like a question before that. It's like, what?
Yeah,
I was just
what-
deciding in my head I was
what's-
going to start it, and then it just failed.
What's
Brett, are you
thought-
asking me if I remember the smash hit N64 game GoldenEye?
Yeah, I just need to say that I'm a professional presenter, as you can tell. So,
Extremely.
So basically, I just wanted to bring up a few interesting facts about GoldenEye because I think for a
Can
lot
you
of
give
people
some
it was-
background? Jesus Christ, Brett, give some
Don't
background.
talk
to what
over
you're
me.
Talking about.
What?
Tell me what you're talking about, though.
Well,
What is moments in history?
okay, so moments in history is basically interesting facts about games that we all remember. So basically, do a little bit of research on it, and then just go over some interesting facts. So there you go.
Is this
I don't
something we
know- I don't
all
know
have
why
to
it's
do, or is
called-
this your thing?
I don't know why it's called moments in history. I don't know where that came from.
Maybe
I didn't wanna
gaming
call it
moments
that.
in history,
I
or
wanted to-
moments
I
in
would call
gaming.
it.
Interesting
I would call it
facts.
golden moments. I'd call it golden moments if I was.
But it's
this
only
one.
for this. That only works for one game, though. Like it's
The
it's not
golden
gonna-
oldies?
It's not going to be GoldenEye.
No,
every
exactly,
week.
Chris. I mean, like golden oldies, like a remembering a golden time, or yeah.
You
I
just
reckon
said golden
moments.
because of GoldenEye, though. That's the only
No,
reason
I
said
didn't.
that.
I think that triggered
That's
my
unrelated.
idea, my
Unrelated.
idea, my idea generator, and I think
Seemed
that
kinda
golden moment
coincidental.
works.
Okay, so here's some interesting facts about GoldenEye.
Moving on, yes.
So GoldenEye was developed by only 9 people, and 8 of those had never actually worked on a game before. So did you know that, guys? Hey, but that's
What did they work on before?
Wow, that's
They
cool.
didn't.
Were they like
They were accountants before.
They were like plumbers, I think.
checkout chicks or something, plumbers,
Yeah.
tradesmen?
Check out chicks.
So who was the person that worked on games before? What was
It's
their
best
case?
not to ask too many questions because I don't
Ah,
have
okay.
further
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
information.
good, yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I could do more research for you next week and do extra golden moments.
Yeah, just put that in the meeting minutes, mate. We'll get to that.
Yeah. So I probably should have rehearsed this.
Hey. Surely there's another fact.
Yeah.
Isn't there another fact? Or is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
it?
GoldenEye's multiplayer mode was the
Has
brainchild
multiplayer
of
mode?
yes, you know the
Yeah,
the
that's what
four-way.
was good about it.
That's what everyone liked. You know the split screen, four-way
I know.
split
Blue
screen
screen
thing.
four-way.
Come on, Chris, get with the times.
I'm just.
He's never played it.
God.
No, when I used to play GoldenEye with the split screen, I used to, when I was like with my brother, I'd be one of those guys who would get like some sort of sheet to put across the sort of horizontally across the actual split in the screen, and he wouldn't be able to see my top half, and I couldn't see his bottom
Smart
half.
move, that is.
Yeah.
What?
They actually,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's fair enough. We never went that far, but I could see myself wanting to do that. The multiplayer mode was actually never supposed to be in the game. It was supposed to be just a single player game. Then there was only
really?
1 month of development time left, and Steve Ellis just basically added it on his own without permission. He didn't even ask permission to do it. He just developed it because he had a bit of extra
that's what-
time. And
The
then he went,
multiplayer is what made it a big deal too, isn't it? That
yeah,
was the-
yeah. He didn't even
selling
ask
point.
Rare or Nintendo, and he just did it and went, check this out, guys. I've made this multiplayer mode. And they were like, yeah, that's fucking awesome. I don't know if that was the actual conversation, but it was something like that. And
That's the
yeah,
big version.
obviously a good decision to leave it in.
Yeah, definitely. That's because that I distinctly remember everyone like playing that at parties and all that kind of stuff. Actually, on a side tangent to that, my brother's Bucks party only a year or so ago, we played GoldenEye just as a flashback thing. He had a James Bond themed Bucks party.
Yep.
And we played GoldenEye. It was hilarious looking at the graphics now going, geez,
Remember how they seemed really
back in
good
the
back
day.
then? And it's
Yeah,
like,
back
when you
in the
look at it
day,
now,
they were
it's just
good.
like, what is this? Like, barely even make it out. And the frame rate.
Yeah, I played Perfect Dark a few weeks ago, and it's like, what is it like? It's like
Hell,
kind of
it's like your version of hell.
it's like putting your hands in like 2 bowls of mud, and then trying to drive a car while you're on like 50 Valiums and drunk.
I've
How the
never
hell
tried that.
do you
but,
come up with that?
yeah, it's-
How
I
would
feel
you
like it
even
would-
know what that's like?
Yeah.
Well,
50
that's what
Valiums.
it's like playing.
Probably dead.
And then putting sunglasses on too, probably. when it's night.
It also I remember the frame rate would drop significantly when you were playing 4 players. So like if someone threw a grenade or like
It
fired
would
the
drop
rocket launcher.
significantly when you started the game.
Well, yeah, but it got
starts-
worse. I think.
It ran at like 15 frames per second.
But it was the greatest thing at the time, wasn't it?
Here's some more interesting facts.
Well, here's some more facts.
Sean Connery, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, George Lazenby, I think, were all in the game. So all the old Bonds.
Yeah.
And then they took them all out because of legal reasons. Because they put them in and went, "This will be fine." And then whoever owns the thing
Oh, they
went,
didn't
"No,
get
you
permission
can't
to
do
use
that."
their likeness or something.
There was a lot of there's a lot of stuff going on without any permission. It seems to be.
Well, when you've only got 7 people in your studio, I suppose, you don't really have a legal team to ask.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think they have anyone with the legal expertise to probably pick that up.
It seemed like a bit of a free for all on the development front, which is good sometimes.
Bet you they wish they were involved now.
Yeah, exactly. Now, actually, Nintendo actually wrote to Rare suggesting they cancel it after there were significant delays with the game. I'm just reading this now.
Fools.
Do you know what the development time was? How long it took?
No, I don't know. That's that.
I bet it was
questions thing, so I
tiny.
can't answer.
I bet it was tiny compared to like nowadays. I bet it was like less than a year or something insane
Yeah,
like that.
it's not like
Yeah.
Star Citizen or anything. It's like yeah,
Copy that.
they would have had a beta 3.0 in like about 2 months probably. Yeah, that was a crap joke. But anyway,
Yeah, good on you.
yeah, so the other one
Jesus.
was it originally had a lot more violence in it, but the guy, whoever owns Nintendo, whatever his name is, sent Rare a fax requesting they reduce the game's violence, or failing that, have the game end with you shaking hands of all the game's enemies in the hospital, showing that you hadn't actually killed them. That doesn't really sound true.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I like
Wow.
that. That's nice.
That's wow.
Yeah, so they
Interesting.
had to scale the violence back. So there you go, guys. So now you know more about GoldenEye, and I hope you enjoyed that segment.
Thanks. That was cool.
Cool. There you go. We are more enlightened.
And we'll
For
sort of
knowing more.
we might change the name to because I don't know, moments in history.
Golden moments.
Gaming.
Golden moments.
That definitely works for like games with golden in them. Definitely works.
Golden moments.
So what we'll do next, break up a bit of the game talk a little bit, although the game talk has been pretty broken up already. Before we move into Osiris, should we do the quiz?
Yeah,
That's like we did last week.
Quiz,
And-
alrighty.
This will be a fucking awesome quiz, I reckon.
Well, let's hope
This is
so.
going to be a stonker.
If it's anything like it
go.
was last week, which was absolute.
Listen to this.
Success.
Listen to these. Listen to this paper. Getting ready here. Paper.
All right. I
Okay.
don't know why that's. Why? How come you don't have it on your computer screen? It's this paper.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's
old
the
school,
digital world, man.
Granddad.
Golden moments. Old school.
This is Golden Moments quiz. So can we just set the rules here? Is it going to be like you say your name as the buzzer, like we did last week?
Yes,
I think that's a cool.
I think so.
And then I'll arbitrarily pick who I want to answer the question.
No, you got to do it fairly. Don't be a dick about it.
All
Hey,
right.
and Michael, you can't answer your own questions either. Like, I get the feeling that you're going to want to.
I get the feeling you guys won't be at it. I get the feeling you guys won't be at it.
I think it's going to be
probably not,
insanely
just-
hard. Fucking
Yeah,
asking
I
about
reckon.
myth and stuff like that.
Fatality.
And Riven,
Which you still got wrong.
All right.
Yes.
All right, come on.
Cracks. Oh, just checking my buzzer. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we do? Do we just start?
Yeah, well,
Go
you
for
got
it.
the questions.
How many questions
You're
are
the-
there? How many questions?
Oh, I don't know. It depends. It depends. I've got heaps.
Depends on how
All
it
right.
goes.
Who was the? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Mhm.
Okay. Who was the original authors of the role-playing game Dungeons and Dragons?
Cracks.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
shit. Gary Gygax.
Half correct. I did say authors.
Yeah, I know you did, and I can't remember the other guy.
Half
get
point to
half
Grax, unless you guys think you can.
I've
you
never
can
even
get
played
in
Dungeons
there?
and Dragons. I have no idea.
He could take the point. I wouldn't have a clue.
It's a half point.
Half a point.
Okay.
All right, half point.
Okay.
Gygax was.
Question number 2.
All right. Second.
Hang on,
all
no,
right.
what was the answer? Who's the second person?
Oh, Dave Arneson. Dave Arneson.
Oh, I'm glad you told me that.
Arneson.
I would have been
Never heard of
wondering
him.
for the rest of
No
the night.
disrespect to the man.
Yeah, but Gary Gygax was more working on the the combat rules and things like that. And Dave Arneson put in more like the
role-playing.
fantasy,
so
the
interesting,
fantasy
Michael.
settings and things like
So
that.
interesting.
Hey, it's interesting to me.
actually.
I play D&D, man.
Sorry.
Are these questions
And
going to be very...
Gary Gygax
Based?
sort of cut him
Hang
out
on,
of
how is this
you know,
gaming related? This is Dungeons & Dragons isn't gaming.
tabletop.
It's
No,
a
but
game,
this is
man.
a game like
Well,
this is a computer
There's plenty
game.
of Dungeons.
Okay, all right. I'll move to video
Yeah,
games.
so
You
really,
ready?
I think that half point should be stricken because it's not really a video game question.
Oh,
I mean, look, it's I think it's fine.
it's
because,
gaming.
I mean, all modern RPGs, I feel, stem from Dungeons.
Every single modern
Yeah,
RPG with any kind of medieval fantasy sci-fi comes from D&D.
Alright.
But we'll move on to video game questions.
All right. Next question. You ready?
So Brett and I can play.
In what year was the smash hit game developed by From Software, Dark Souls, released?
Brett,
On go ahead. No, there's two answers here.
2000. Oh, okay. Well, can you finish the
There's
question?
two answers here.
No, you buzzed in too early. You can't.
Yeah, you can't get more info. Can't get
All
more
right,
info.
2009.
All right, finish off the question.
What year was Dark Souls released on PC?
That doesn't help.
Yeah.
This is the
Actually,
original
I don't
Dark
care.
Souls.
I know this is going to trigger Michael, but I've never played it. So
Chris, you want to crack?
This is the original Dark Souls.
Yep.
What year are we now? 2017. 2011.
Yes, that's the release
I reckon he was
on,
googling it then. He took too
PlayStation.
long.
Yeah, 100%.
He was totally looking it up.
That's the release.
Oh no!
No.
So Chris is in the lead with 1 point, and Grax is
You would
coming
hear my
second
key-
with half
you
a
would hear
point.
my keyboard.
And Brett is on 0 with nothing because he's a fool.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Brett, you're not a fool.
There's only one question that I've even had a chance at, but anyway.
Okay, so what is this? What famous game? What famous role-playing game is this? The following hilarious quote taken from you spoony bard.
Chris,
Go for it.
I'm going to take a stab and say Baldur's Gate.
Brett,
All right, next.
I'm going
Go
to go
ahead.
with EverQuest.
Wrong.
Fuck it.
Grax,
Go ahead.
Icewind Dale,
Comes
Skyrim.
from Final Fantasy IV.
Oh, fun.
It's obscure as fuck.
Bum.
Okay, sort of running low on questions.
I thought you had loads.
They had heaps. What was all that paper rattling?
All right, this is an easy one.
Oh,
In
yeah.
What is the currency used in the smash hit action role-playing game developed by From Software Dark Souls?
Brett,
Dark
Go
Soul
for it.
coins.
Souls?
Correct, Brett. Welcome to the leaderboard. You're neck and neck in the lead with young Chris.
Are these all just going to be Dark Souls and RPG questions? or-
Apparently.
The remaining questions are possibly all going to be about Dark Souls. You want to go back?
I pretty much
Unless
guessed
you
that
wanna
as
go
well,
Put my hand up to lose now.
I vaguely
Unless you
remember.
want another question about D&D.
Oh,
Yes.
No, because it's
I'd
not
rather-
gaming. Like, it's not...
You need to be
Might as well do a
fair.
history question.
Okay. All right.
If only you had a week to.
Give us a D&D question.
The ancient Greek goddess Hera is what realm does the ancient Greek goddess Hera? What is her main role in ancient Greek society?
She's what?
What?
I don't know. What is she the god of? What is she the goddess of?
Who was
Wouldn't that
that?
be easy to say?
Who's it? Hera?
Was she
Hera.
women in marriage or something?
Correct, Grax, but you have not said the buzzer, so it's still up for anyone.
Brett.
Okay,
Brett.
what else?
Oh,
Women
Brett.
in marriage.
Please answer, Brett.
Women in marriage.
You are correct, Brett.
Yeah.
Brett is in the lead with 2 points.
Thank you. Fucking destroy.
You're welcome, buddy.
These,
Can we get
loving
back-
these questions,
Back
by
to
the way.
gaming questions.
Okay.
That's not Dark Souls.
Oh.
He's
He's
not
just-
really.
he's just winging
And the
it
winner
now.
is Brett.
Yes.
Well done, Brett is the winner.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Yay for you.
happy that I won, but kind of disappointed in the questions quality, I've got to say.
What do you mean? I had
You're
another
talking that up so
20 I had another 20 Dark Souls questions ready to go.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Maybe-
Like me
maybe
asking
just
you guys
spread 'em-
Conan
maybe
Exiles
make.
questions.
I mean, I had a lot of console questions last week, so sort of understand just having one type of thing. But maybe just make it a little bit more general. Maybe next time. Just a suggestion. You don't have to. Do what you want. But yeah.
I really
He's upset
tried.
now. You've hurt his feelings.
I really, really tried.
Did you just make those up as you go? Because you know everything about.
I
Dark
reckon you
Souls?
did.
Yeah.
I made up the one about Hera.
All right.
You Googled while we were talking.
So the leaderboard is now me and Michael are even. Oh, so does that mean I have to do the quiz again next week because I won that?
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, or you can allocate. Well, I reckon it's better if you win that you can allocate someone else to do it.
No, but then you would never, because the thing is, if you're hosting the quiz, you can never win, so you would never do it. But it kind of gives a bit of a handicap because if you win, then it sort of stops you from winning every week. So it might be. I can do it again next week if you want.
I suppose so. Yeah.
Flip a coin, make a decision, whatever.
Four-sided coin.
We'll work that out.
I'm not sure on your
Work that out
logic there,
before the
Brett.
next show. Well, I'm just saying that if I can allocate it to someone else, I'm not going to allocate it to me. So then I'll
Well,
allocate
that's
it
the
to
thing.
Herdy.
Then you never have to make it. So you're avoiding the punishment of having to make the quiz.
I don't think it's a punishment. I enjoyed doing it.
Oh, okay. Well, you can allocate it yourself then.
Oh, there you go.
I'm not going to. No. Look, we'll talk about it. We'll come back to us next week. We'll work out the rules.
Which you'll figure it out.
Hopefully have a broader range of questions.
Yeah, not just Dark
So-
Souls quiz.
Yeah. So next on our list
and Dungeons
tonight,
and Dragons and ancient mythology. So, Brett, you've embarrassed yourself there.
Where was Age of Mythology? Where was that?
the Hera one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know.
Jeez, we got it all covered. We got Egyptian, we got Greek. I think
Seems
that's
to be a common theme.
Everything, Chris. That's everything. Those two
It's
things
all
you said.
Oh dear.
So Osiris New Dawn has a beta going at the moment. Is it still going, or has the beta been
It's
sort of
no, the
made
beta's
real?
the beta. Well, it's still early access, but the
It's
beta
still early
has
access.
finished and it's been released like as an update.
Okay, so it's not really the new beta isn't really a new beta anymore. It's a released beta
That's
into
right.
the early access of
Into
version
the
of
early
game.
access, so it's freely available. Yeah.
So this is something that you have, Grax, been playing quite a bit of because you're sort of a survival base building expertise specialist.
Oh, I wouldn't call myself an expert, but yeah, it's something I have
why not?
sort of
Why
latched up
Survival to
recently.
you is what Dark Souls is to Michael.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't say I'm that extreme with it. Like I like other games too. I'm
Yeah,
not solely Dark Souls. He seems to be pretty obsessed. But
He's very.
I do enjoy the base building / survival genre at the moment. It's I've only recently really got into it, sort of the beginning of this year. But yeah, it's I'm having fun with those type of games. So
You've been
yeah,
smashing Conan, eh? I've seen you on there quite a bit, like playing that.
yeah. Well, recently I'm doing the series, but I'm also playing on one of the Oceanic servers on Conan as well, and having a lot of fun actually. Just wandering around looking at other people's bases and things that they've built is really cool. But that we talked about Conan last week, so that's all good. So does Michael need to give me the 5-minute timer, or do I?
Yeah. Oh, you're going to do it. I thought you were just rambling. Okay. I'll put the timer on fire.
Yeah, shots fired.
All right. Do I need to reduce it because you've already had a waffle, or should I?
Well,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
didn't
Grax.
really
You got
introduce it.
5 minutes. You got
Thank
5 minutes.
you.
I'm just having a little chuckle. All right. We're starting in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so Osiris New Dawn has been developed by a company called Phoenix Fire. It's currently on sale at the moment, actually, until the 19th of September on Steam for $16.74 US. It's an open world sci-fi space survival game, as the guy said just before. It's got all those elements there. The devs have stated that they drew heavy influence from this game from movies like The Martian and Prometheus. When you actually play it, there is quite a lot of... You can see a couple of references to The Martian and that particular movie. The description of the setting from Steam is that it's the year 2078, the Earth's resources have been depleted, and basically mankind's needed to go into space and find new places to explore. You've crash landed on the surface of a moon called Proteus 2, and you were actually heading out to investigate what happened to the original Osiris-1 mission. So people have gone before you, and you've gone to investigate what's happened, and in the process you've crash landed and then have to scavenge and basically survive. So the game itself, you can play single player. You can play co-op with up to 5 friends on a private server that the host or whoever makes the game hosts, or you can play on one of the many public servers that they have. They've got lots for every region: Oceania, America, and UK. The game itself was released into early access on Steam last year on the 28th of September, so it's almost been out in early access for nearly a year. When it was first released, it won 2 awards at PAX West for Best Survival Game and Best Indie MMO. The game itself, when they first started developing it, there was only 2 developers involved, and now they're up to 7. So for what they've got at the moment, for 7 people, it's pretty awesome. As Chris said previously when we were rambling, there was a recent update on the 29th of August called the Architect Update. That's now live and in-game, and they did a hot fix to that last week on the 8th of September. That fixed a couple of things they changed in late June, early July. There was a couple of little gameplay tweaks that they did that some were good and some were a little bit annoying for the player. There was a lot of community feedback around those, and if you have a look on Steam at the reviews, around that month there was quite a few negative reviews due to the changes they made. So the devs have listened to that, and they've actually fixed or reverted some of those things. They had a really annoying pickup animation that slowed your characters walking around, and you had to stop to pick stuff up, and it was annoying as hell. But they've also added some really good stuff. All the classes are now in game. Previously there was only 1, so now you've got Ranger, Marine, Engineer, and Scientist, and each one of those has their various specialities with their own sort of weighted talent trees. Each class starts with its own specific weapons and tools. As of the most recent update, there's 2 new mini dungeons in the game. They're basically mines on the moon that you've landed on, and they appear to have been set up by the crew of the first Osiris mission, and you go in and explore and try and work out what's going on there. There's now a lengthy tutorial that they brought out with this most recent update. So you've got a line of quests to follow which lead you to these particular instances. And after you finish the second one, the quest chain stops there for the moment, but the devs have said there's more coming. A lot more new craftable items, weapons, structures. Previously, you could craft prefab bases and build up defenses and walls and that kind of stuff, but it has changed. Recently, they've got all of that and they've added to it. Now there's custom panels and things, so you can basically build whatever type of base you want. You're not constrained by just what they have.
30 seconds.
Right, okay, cool. There's force fields, turrets, all sorts of new stuff, vehicles, spaceships. You can leave the first moon and go to another moon that's nearby. And the plan for the end game is that there will be, I think it's 10 planets they're talking about now. So there's lots more stuff coming.
10 seconds.
Favorite mechanic, crafting bases and vehicles. Favorite sound and graphic. The sound, the music, and the atmospheric sound is amazing and generally scares the pants off you.
That is 5 minutes, I think, to be honest.
I lost the timer.
We got a secret message from Michael saying he lost the timer, so I just kind of guessed that
Sounded
5
like
minutes was
5
coming up.
minutes.
It sounds like 5 minutes. I was rambling there.
What's your question, Chris?
So my question, because I have so many.
Well, you've played it, so you
look. I have, but I've always found it. I don't know why, but I find it difficult to make it stick. I don't know why. Maybe I need to try the new update or something like that. I haven't tried the new update yet. But I've played Osiris in the past, but I've never really found it to have enough of a hook to keep me playing more, to keep coming back and back. Mm-hmm. So what is it that you're finding so addictive about the game that keeps making you want to come back?
That keeps coming on your back.
For the moment, like I do enjoy it. For the moment, it's the new stuff they're bringing out. So like I said, with the customizable base building now, that gives you a lot more freedom if you're into that kind of thing of building structures and patterns and shapes and however you want to do things, defend against the alien creatures that are out there. That's given you the player a lot more freedom. So yeah, that's probably the thing at the moment that's made it interesting again. And they've done a lot of graphical updates and updates to the world and the map. So it feels a lot more alive now. The creatures aren't as stupidly overpowered as they were a couple of patches ago. Like you really had trouble with melee combat a couple of months ago, but they've seemed to have got the balance close to right now. And you can mess with the settings yourself in the menu. But yeah, so I think for that, the combat's been greatly improved, and the base buildings are a lot more fun now.
Cool. Okay. Awesome.
Can I have two? I have two questions.
Sure.
First one, I know that's against the rules, but the first one is how many Skyrims out of 10 is the map?
Oh, hang on. There's the timer. Hang on. I've got the timer going off. The timer.
You didn't.
I'm sorry, Grace.
Still like that,
I hadn't lost it. Oh my god, how embarrassing.
Well, there you go. So how many Skyrim maps? Well, maybe two. I don't know.
2 Skyrims. Okay, that's good because that's like
for one moon. So you've got Proteus 2, which is the one you land on, and there's
the moon is only the size of Skyrim. It's a pretty fucking small moon.
Yeah, and then you got another moon as well, and then there's planets.
The other question is, why would you play this over Space Engineers?
Because I haven't played Space Engineers, and from what I understand, I do have it, and I have seen videos on it. So this particular game uses the Unity engine. It's first person, third person, depending on your camera angle.
Yeah.
And looks very real. Whereas from what I've seen in Space Engineers, it appears to be cool, but it's more cartoony.
Yeah,
if I can say
it's
that.
very blocky and cartoony.
Space Engineers is fucking awesome though.
Yeah, so from what I understand, the playability of that game is really good. But Osiris is, I don't want to say realistic because there's no space travel and living on moons and stuff, but it feels alive, and you genuinely.
I'll disagree with you there, mate. But continue.
You genuinely get scared, but you get jumped by these alien creatures and stuff like that, and it gives you jump scares and all that kind of stuff. Like it feels a lot more immersive, if that's a way to describe it, I suppose.
Yeah, I do actually remember when I did play Osiris the first time, like it was just ages ago. One thing I do agree with the sort of fear factor in it, where when the sun goes down and it's nighttime, and you've got sort of like your little torch, which doesn't sort of light up the whole screen, just obviously a small section of it. And when you've got sort of the weather elements and the rain coming in, and all of a sudden this giant spider-looking thing just crawls out of nowhere, is right in front of you. It can give you a bit of a jump, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And then if you're in the caves where it's dark all the time, all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely immersive in that respect. And it feels real, like when you get immersed in it.
Really?
I think.
So you think you're in space? Yeah. No.
Well, it feels like you're discovering discovering a new world, getting lost, trying to follow your map and work out where things are. And
is it like if you're not really interested in base building, sorry, this is actually 3 questions. If you're not really that interested in base building, is it worth playing?
Probably not. It's the crafting. Well, do you like crafting vehicles and spaceships and exploring?
Yeah, that's sort of
and fighting alien creatures, because that's the thing as well.
But
and the survival aspect. So you need to.
I don't like base building.
Yeah, you need to be able to eat food and drink water to survive. So you got to set yourself up a farm and all that kind of jazz, and eventually you can discover the technology, build yourself a spaceship, go to the next planet.
I can see Michael wants to jump
do it all over
question.
again.
Yeah, looks like he wants to say something.
Well, what about if you don't like video games? Would you like this video game?
Most likely not. But if you like
my real question was,
if you like the movie The Martian, probably.
The only thing I took out of The Martian was the fact that
you broke
Louis
breaking up a bit there.
Hepburger, what's his name? What's the name of the actor in The Martian?
Damon.
Matt Damon.
The only thing I learned about from that movie was the fact he can't grow a beard.
I also learned that there's massive storms on Mars, even though it almost has no atmosphere, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm. That is very unusual, isn't it?
Because they're like, scientifically accurate. It's like, is it? Well,
how'd that happen?
Hollywood.
No, my real question for you, Grax, is what was the name of the developer?
Phoenix Fire.
Phoenix Fire.
No.
Oh.
It's spelt Phoenix, and that's how they pronounce it.
Is it with an F?
Phoenix.
I researched that.
I was going to say, because they've got Phoenix, they've got Osiris, they've got a lot of rebirth, rejuvenation. I just wanted to know what was going on here.
Is it spelled with an F?
They got Phenix.
Oh, Phoenix Fire. Yeah, that is, yeah.
Is that some sort of like Eastern interpretation of Phoenix, or what?
Yeah, I believe it is.
I think
Yes,
they missed a
I
trick
do.
there.
Okay.
They called it Phoenix.
Because then it's got Phoenix, Osiris. They're very similar sort of archetypal beings. What do you
Hey,
make of
maybe
that, Chris?
maybe it was all
Coming
planned.
back.
They could have added that other
What
one.
do you think of that, Chris? What's the other one?
I don't know. The other god. that you're thinking
Apollo or
talking
something.
about.
Apollo.
Yeah.
Ah,
Apollo. No, I was talking about Keck. That's nothing to do with that.
Oh, I don't know.
Apollo or something. Sort of sun deity.
Yeah, there's Apollo. Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Oh,
So
actually,
anyway,
no,
I gave it,
Osiris isn't a sun. It's Ra that's a deity. So I've made a mistake there.
Osiris is the god of the dead.
So did you give it a
Well,
score
not
out
really the
of-
god of dead, more the god of the afterlife and the underworld resurrection. Not really dead
Okay.
as we know
Thank you
it.
for the
Slightly
clarification.
different interpretation in terms
We might
of
need another podcast
ancient
for
Greece.
your like.
Yeah,
philosophy
just for the
section.
just for the history. Michael's history. lessons.
He's often shown he's sort of the green god, so he's more like rebirth, relife, resurrection, vines, vegetation, more so than death as we know it.
So he's greeny.
Okay, there you go. More history.
All right. So anyway, just quickly, I gave it 8.5 to 9 out of 10, just because we're giving ratings. I would have.
So get off that fence, Grax, and tell me what you really think.
What is
I would have given it.
What is 8.5,
Yeah,
9 out of 10? What does that mean? I've never.
I would give it more. Like I would actually give it 10 out of 10 for playability and fun from my point of view because it's what I like.
Jesus, how can you?
See, okay, here's my problem.
The issues I have with it. The
Chris
issues
is
I
like,
have with
"Fuck
it
off,
is.
mate."
Yeah, exactly. And, well, I want to clarify. So the issues I have with it at the moment, and it's early access, so it's going to be fixed. But currently, you're.
It's like Star Citizen.
The game's
It's all coming. It's all coming.
The game is
Christ.
repetitive. The game's repetitive, so it gets boring. As Chris said,
Sounds
it
like a
doesn't
10 out of 10
keep
game
you
so
for a
far.
long time.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't given it 10. The dungeons that you go in, the first time you go in there, they're awesome. They scare the shit out of you. There's scripted events and things that happen that scare you, but you go back again and it happens again and it happens. It's not dynamic. So if the spawns and the traps and the surprises and stuff the spawning system was changed to be more dynamic, that shit wasn't the same all the time, I would give more of a rating on that. And yeah, but apart from that, like out in the real world, like there's
In the real world.
outside
So you
the
can go on
instance.
Earth as well.
Yeah, apparently. The
And the real world, this
creatures
game's
spawning
great. I
and
can
that
get
kind of
up, I
stuff.
can wander around, I
Yeah.
can live my life, and it's still part of the game. It's amazing.
it's amazing.
So what you're
Yes,
saying is
anyway,
if it was a totally different game, you'll give it 10 out of 10.
not quite. If it was a finished game, it could be worthy of a 10 out of 10.
Right there. So right
It's
there.
not
This
finished.
This is my concern with giving these out of 10 scores for these indie sort of small time games. I'm all for giving out of 10 scores for AAA games who have the resources to put everything into it.
I was going to say that
Like,
before.
That's
when
what I
you were
mean.
talking about
For
Snowflake's chance
seven
when you started
guys,
scoring.
7 guys made this game.
Yeah.
It is bloody amazing. It's like what you were saying about Snowflake's chance. Like
Yeah.
for 7 people to put this level of game up, even in its current state, that is worthy of 8.5 to 9.
yeah,
out of 10.
I mean, that's the thing. When I was talking about Snowflake's chance, I didn't really want to give it an out of 10 because it's one guy in Melbourne doing this on his own,
No,
from what I believe.
I don't think we should be scoring those games. I agree.
But when because I think it needs to be like, okay, like when we look at Snowflake's chance, it's $7 US. Did I have fun? Is it worth $7? Hell yeah, go spend your
Exactly.
money and go buy it. Same with Osiris. It's an unfinished game. I mean, Snowflake's chance is finished. It's released. There's no early access or anything like that. It is what it is. Osiris is an early access game where it's like there's still more to come. They're still working on it. So you can't give a rating on something that's not done. I think if we're going to ever review AAA games and we get, something from Activision or EA or something like that.
Send us a review copy. I don't
No,
think so.
no. I'm saying they're games that we can review because they're people who've got companies that got resources behind giving you a product that's like a $100 game. Like, okay, let's review that out of 10.
Jesus.
But
Fair
for,
point.
What the fuck's going on?
The sky is falling.
I dropped my my ancient Greek statue.
Of the frog? Oh, no, that was it. One.
so as I say, like when it came to Snowflake's chance, I'd like to take my score out as in terms of that 8 out of 10 because I don't think it's fair on the developer of an indie
All right.
game. I think it needs to be, is it worth the money that it's going for? $7 Snowflake, yeah, go
Yep.
spend your $7.
Well,
Is
it comes
this-
back to what I was saying in the first podcast about how you spend your money, like when you go to the movies.
Are
and that
you
kind of
getting
stuff.
hours of
Are
enjoyment
you
out of
getting hours of enjoyment for your money? And your answer with Snowflake Exchange is yes. My answer with Osiris New Dawn is yes. Like if there's no replayability in it at all, and you spent $16 US on this game at the moment and got 4, 5, 6 hours of entertainment out of it, then that would be good enough if it was never updated again, in my point of view, from my point of view.
Yeah. Cool. So next on the list, we're gonna let Michael.
Sorry, guys. I slightly disagree, though, because I feel
Do
like
you? Okay.
you should have some sort of, like, you should be critical. You can't just go, yeah, it's fine, whatever. Like, who cares? Like, play it, but why should we play it? What's good about it? What should be improved? What
Yes.
kind of sucks? Where should they get better? I don't really think it's that bad.
I agree with you there. Like, I do think all developers need to hold themselves to a standard, and yes, we need to be critical of certain things and elements of the game. It's the only way the
We should be critical of all
developer,
things.
that's the only way the developer is going to sort of improve.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying about before. So with that update they did in June, July, that in essence broke a couple of things, and a large amount of the Osiris community like gave feedback and said, "This is crap. You've ruined the game. I don't want to play anymore." Like, you know what Steam reviews are like. They're brutal. People lose their shit. Oh, I waste my money and all this kind of crap.
A lot of them are from
But
Michael.
the developers
Just writes them
to
over.
their 100%. It's just like Michael when he's upset. But to their credit, the main developer came out, Brian, and he did a video and he did a long post and he said, "Look, we're listening to you. We appreciate what you're saying. I'm not having fun either. Yeah, we got a couple of things wrong. We missed the mark, and we're continually improving. We're going to fix this. We're going to fix that." And to their credit, they did it in the architect update. So that's another reason why I lent towards a higher rating, because they're listening to their community and they're making the game better from the feedback.
I don't think you can rate an early access game really, though.
No.
I'll rate whatever the
No,
fuck
you
I
can
want
rate
to
it.
rate.
You can rate it. You can rate it based on the enjoyment level you've had for
Yeah.
what we were saying before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
What's next, Chris?
So we're going to let Michael describe this one because it was his idea. So we
I
call
forgot
this.
about this.
Oh God!
We call this
Are we
trailer
seriously
lark.
doing this?
No,
We are.
Chris.
Okay,
Everyone,
so-
shut up. What's the name? What's the name of this segment? Because it's bloody brilliant.
Trailer lark.
Can you just explain that
that's
pun,
good.
please, Michael? In case someone.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Well, another word for having a chat, having a joke about something is having a lark. You guys have probably heard it before, having a lark. Obviously, we're going to be talking about trailers here, and now you may have heard of the thing called trailer parks. That's where a lot of sort of semi-permanent or permanent sort of caravans and
Yeah,
the like
people know what a
sort of
trailer park
organised in a okay.
So we're going to be talking about trailers, things with
So
two
we're
wheels
going to
that
be
you
talking
came behind the
trailers,
car.
trailer park, trailer
Got
lark.
it. Brilliant.
Yeah.
It's genius. Best thing
Yeah.
ever done.
So the idea behind this is we're going to play a trailer of a game. We're going to let it go through. We're going to watch it. We're going to obviously you are going to be listening to it, I guess. Unless you're on the YouTube, you'll be watching it as well. We're going to sort of at the end of that, we're going to make comments throughout it, not too over the top to just sort of disrupt the trailer. At the end of it, we're going to sort of give an analysis on that trailer, go through it scene by scene, see what we like, talk about what we like, what we didn't like, and see if it's encouraging us really for the release of it. So we have no idea if this is going to work.
The problem
Michael
is
seems to think it will.
people listening
Will.
can't see the trailer, so you only get to hear it, obviously.
Yeah.
Please write in
But-
to... Is it?
Michael at Control Record.
Yeah.
But Michael
complain.
said he's going to narrate it, though. He's going to...
Yeah, I'm going
Right
to tell you, the listener, you'll be able to hear the audio and you'll be able to listen to me, and I'll tell you what's occurring in the trailer. And then we'll have a grand old lark after the fact.
Right. So we're also... All four of us have the trailers up on our screens. I'm bringing it up
Hang on,
now.
I'm doing that.
Yeah. So
So you
that's
gonna
usual-
tell us when to hit play?
We're going to say 3, 2, 1, go. You've all got through your YouTube ad trailers, right? The ad.
Yeah,
Hang on, guys. I just thought of something.
I have YouTube Red, so I
shit.
don't get ads.
Wait.
Are you,
I think
are you on
all-
YouTube Red?
Yeah.
What's that like?
No, that's another segment. Is that like RedTube, but not?
No, it's
Are
not
you,
like
allowed
a...
to, are you allowed to, Brett, are you allowed to give it a rating, or is poor old YouTube Red going to get upset because you gave it a rating? Oh.
I'll rate your segment very badly.
Yeah.
So far, I give it a 0. It's boring.
Okay, guys, I got a joke. I got a gag. Is it going to be okay if all 4 of us watching the same YouTube video at the same time? Won't that bring the Australian internet down?
Yeah.
You know what?
Another
it
great
just
thing
might.
that's going to happen is going to lag out the connection, but sure. So say when.
So-
Say when.
So disclaimer: we have no idea if this is going to work. So
We have half an idea. Yeah,
it's either
not
going to
bad.
go, it's going to be back next week, or it's not. So we'll soon find out. So we're going to say 3, 2, 1, go. We're going to hit play at the same time, so we keep the videos all in line with each other, and then we can all discuss it.
I'm
after.
on my phone. I'm
No,
doing this on my
now
phone,
wait.
so it
Now,
might be
Brett, are you
slower for
playing
me.
the audio? Brett,
Yeah, you'll
are you
hear
playing
the audio from my phone, which I'm playing, but because I'm playing on my phone, it might load up slower than your computer does. So you guys have to
Oh, okay,
synchronize
well.
with me. Right?
Okay, you got it.
Okay.
Brett. Tell us
I'm
when,
just
mate.
gonna say
I'm
everything.
ready.
Well, I'm going to press play, and when you hear the audio, then you press play, okay?
Okay. Yeah. Good.
But it's in there like a few seconds.
Oh,
Oh shit.
oh, hang on, there was an ad. What the fuck? Where's my...
Let's review the ad, shall we?
well,
Yeah, come on, give
it's 'cause I'm
YouTube
not
Red
using- it's 'cause
a
I'm not
review.
using the app.
Yeah, didn't you just say you got YouTube Red, so you shouldn't have an ad?
It's because I'm not using the app. I need to be signed.
Very professional.
Oh,
outfit
okay.
here.
Yeah.
What is it?
Totally.
Assassin's Creed Origins official premiere trailer. All right, just...
Are we getting money from YouTube Red as advertising?
It's so good. Like, honestly, I would definitely get it.
But didn't you just? What you would definitely get it? I thought you do have it.
No, I'm saying for you guys or anyone listening,
He's recommending.
you should definitely get it.
Anyone listening?
Use the code
And how
controller
much-
record to get 10% off your first purchase.
Oh, dear.
Is your trailer done yet?
Someone's going to
Yeah.
try that.
Official world premiere trailer. E3, is it? It's the E3 one.
Yes, E3.
There's so many of them. Why are there so many?
The one that goes for 2 minutes and 2
2
seconds.
seconds.
2 seconds.
2 minutes and 3.
3, 2.
Hang on, now I've got to rewind it because I've started it. Okay. All right, ready?
All right.
Okay.
Here we go. 4K. Actual footage captured in.
Is there noise or what?
Can you hear that?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Are the first. The first to see the gods.
Bird in
The
over Egypt.
first to tame their beasts.
Bird going on hand.
The first to guard the soul from evil.
Jackal-headed mummy maker. Men building the pyramids. Which is
conquered
actually untrue because it should be
this land.
UFOs making the pyramids.
And built an empire.
It looks
Hit
like
with a
somewhere in
warhammer.
Egypt. Boats. Scarab shield.
But there are whispers on the wind.
Man in cloak.
What has this got to do with Assassin's Creed?
Born in the shadows.
Oh, it's a guy. Looks like he's got a
man
sword.
running down the pyramid.
How
Man
early
in
did you
desert.
press play?
They
A bit
are
early.
the first
It doesn't matter, Chris,
themselves.
because no one can see what we're looking at anyway.
It's like
Man
Gladiator.
in
Like Gladiator.
Colosseum.
Gladiator.
Man
Yeah, I
in the
can see-
Colosseum, which I didn't know Egypt had.
I was going to say, did Egypt have Colosseum?
Yeah, they did. They definitely did.
Boat, crocodile. Man attacking man. Man attacking man. Tomb. Man attacking man.
great.
Man attacking man. Jumping. Crossbow.
Oh, lots
that
of arrows.
shoots 3 arrows.
No,
not
it was a bow and arrow.
Oh, the
No,
Brotherhood
crossbow.
begins.
It was a crossbow, which is actually untrue. I don't think that
That looks...
and then a hydra.
Available October 27th. Pre-order
I
now and
won't
get a
be buying
bonus
it.
mission. Secrets of the First Pyramids.
I'm sorry for anyone who has to listen to
spooky.
that. That's terrible.
All right, so
So basically, just to sum up the trailer, it was basically a bunch of like sort of like pyramids and stuff, and then like a guy going around fighting everyone. But there was no actual in-game footage of like actual gameplay. I don't think.
Yeah, it was all cinematic.
Yeah, even
Yeah,
though
all
it
the
says
quick-
it's in recorded
Oh,
in-game.
Brett, come on.
just a question. Before we started the trailer, did anyone actually say what the trailer was that we were watching?
No.
No,
Would you say
Assassin's Creed. That was.
Assassin's Creed Origins? So
Yeah.
just so now
That was your job, Chris. By the way.
No, I said Michael was introducing it. So
Yeah, true. Actually,
Yeah,
angry
the
at
point
both of
from
you.
here. Oh, sorry.
Michael assumes all ownership for this segment.
Yep. So from here, the idea is I think this would work better when it's actually like a gameplay trailer, but whatever. But we'll go through scene by scene, discuss what we're seeing. And I think that's where it works better with the gameplay, so we can actually get a tasteful or a look
I think
at.
we're done with that segment, aren't we? I think that's it.
Well, we've got the part 2 of it.
Oh, okay. There was definitely something going on there. Looks like Gladiator. Like I saw him shooting an arrow at someone, and like there was a big snake thing, and there's like lots of pyramids I noticed as well.
I mean, I guess the point I'm trying to make with this video game trailer-like section is that I think video game trailers have gotten so good at making exciting things so fucking boring. Like, who cares? It's just boring shit. Like, who cares? It's so boring. That's my point I'm trying to make.
I would just say
really, that
like,
was the whole point.
I just want to see. I just want to see gameplay. Like, I want to see if I buy this game, what am I going to be doing?
What am I going to be able to do? How am I going to control my guy?
I think I assume what you were trying to say as well, Mike, was like the trailers have become so detached from the actual game that it could be for a movie or it could be for anything. It just is totally unrelated. And it's like
I agree.
lots of like dramatic music and like guys, running around.
And the guy
It's like,
talking, we are the first brotherhood of the people that went to the place and saw the gods and did the thing. What do you think about that?
So this particular trailer, look, the whole cinematic nature of it actually looks to me like when you buy this game and hit load or hit run, that's what you're going to see.
Is it?
That's what you know what I mean.
You hit run.exe in DOS.
Press start. Load star, 8,1.
Showing your age there a little bit, Grax.
Yeah, just a little bit. But that cinematic trailer is something that I would expect to see whilst the game is loading. You know what I mean? Like for a game trailer to get me to buy it, I want to see like Brett said, I want to see gameplay. Like, this is what my character can do. These are the cool skills I have. These are the weapons I can use. This is where I'm going. Not this stylized animated thing that, okay, it's shot in engine, but it's not really you play or someone playing it.
No.
So I'm just going back through the trailer, looking at the scenes in more detail, and I actually think if you want to skip to a minute 16 when he's in
Chris. This
that
is what
gladiator.
we're talking about.
So at a minute 16, he's taking a fight in like the Colosseum looking thing. And there's the guy with the red shield. So if you go to a minute 16, the guy with the red shield, it's got the blue.
I'm trying to.
I can turn the volume down. You see that blue bullhead?
Yeah.
I think the American basketball team, Chicago Bulls, that's the logo. That looks identical to the logo. And I think they have a lawsuit.
It's probably from Minos, which is an ancient Greek island, city-state or civilization. Minos.
Is that where Minotaurs come from?
Yeah, exactly right.
I'm sure there's
I think the myth or the legend of the Minotaur comes from Minos. Minos. Ancient Greek city-state of Minos.
I hate this trailer. I hate it. It's actually
that's what
I actually like Assassin's Creed games. I said that before, but this is like maybe not want to buy it. This has turned me off the game.
I was turned off the game so long ago. Like, it is just the same thing over and over again.
Well, when the other trailer we looked at the other week, this is a different one, but it went for a bit longer and there was a bit more stuff in it. And when I first saw it before, there was a whole minute to nearly 2 minutes of just aerial footage and armies marching and shit like that. And I actually thought it was like a new Civilization game or a Age of Empires game or something. Like, there was none of the Assassin's Creed iconic combat that you get from that game for ages until like almost the end of the trailer. It looked like a completely different game. I'm like, oh, cool, new Civ game or, new Age of Empires or something. I thought it was last week we were talking about the Age of Empires game coming out. I thought, oh, maybe it's that. Mm-hmm. And then next thing you know, there's assassins jumping out everywhere and some
there's a bit where he,
in the dust. And
you said it was a crossbow. It's not. It's actually a bow and he shoots.
All right, I'm going to have a look at it.
I'm double checking it.
Oh,
it's a bow.
Brett, yeah, you are correct. He holds it sideways.
And he shoots five.
So he was actually the first gangster.
He shoots five. He shoots 5 arrows at once.
Back in Egypt.
Yeah.
That was just like a big fuck you right at the end, where it's like, just why is that happening? Like that's not a thing. Like shooting 5 arrows.
Unless you're Legolas.
Never happened.
Wait. No, I think they used. Actually, no, I could be wrong. I think they used to fire. They used to fire quicker than we think, or they used to. No, they used to hold the arrows in their hand. I think.
I don't ever remember. I don't know if maybe when you see him shooting those arrows and it's got like the blue trail. It's like, when did arrows ever like sort of? have some
Engine
sort of
trails.
He fights a crocodile. He fights a crocodile sometimes.
That's pretty cool. That's the only good thing, I reckon, in there.
in the
gameplay
water,
element.
no way you can fight it.
He would, the crocodile would fuck him up in the water.
Yeah, he's just the crocodile's
But
about
he's
to
the one.
He's facing the wrong way. Hang on.
Although
He's
he
swimming.
can shoot 5 arrows at once, Michael. Let's not forget that.
No,
He's
he
the
is
assassin,
swimming
man. He's
away
like
from the
the
crocodile.
original.
Wait, he's away from the spins around and just literally cuts the crocodile's mouth, which somehow cuts its throat.
What I'm actually trying to find at the moment is those symbols, the cult of Kek that we are talking about before, and seeing if there's like the computer and the
In the trailer or in the
trailer. In the trailer. Because all the symbols. I'm trying to see if there's like a Donald Trump.
Oh, you're welcome to my world, Chris. You see conspiracy within reality, within enigmas.
Go down the rabbit hole, Chris. You'll never come back.
I know.
Chris.
Follow the white rabbit. Take the red pill.
So, okay.
What's
there
the
you go. So that
consensus
was,
on that trailer? Just absolute
look,
garbage.
the trailer, it's a pretty looking trailer.
It's going to appeal to certain people.
But
Imbeciles.
If you were like rating it as a trailer, like on its own, independently of the game, you go, yeah, like it's pretty cool. Like it's a pretty cool trailer, but it doesn't do anything to sort of do it. It's like that's all it is. It's just a trailer.
yeah, exactly. Bring on the game. I mean, maybe by now, this was back at E3, so maybe there is actually a gameplay trailer out by now. I'm sure there probably is.
Brett, Brett, I was almost convinced for a second there you were actually enjoying Trailer Lark.
I think that
Nah,
too, actually.
I hate it.
No,
I think you're loving it.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see what people.
Maybe the listeners could give us some feedback and tell us whether we
I think
keep
if you
it or
haven't
cut.
seen it, it's not you'd have to go to YouTube and then watch it, and then like you kind of understand what we're talking about.
Actually, can we put the link for the trailer we watched in the podcast description so people can see the same one? Because I know there's a couple.
Yeah, there's
now.
about 50. So
So-
yeah, can do that.
No,
Yeah.
no way. No, we're not doing that, Grace. No way. Fuck.
Okay,
that.
we want to keep
we
it
can do
suspense.
it. We can actually do it. It's pretty easy. It's
Well,
literally
to be
like
fair,
possible.
Because you don't want to help them out at all.
no, because the actual trailer that I think we were watching,
It's like the old weird one that no one.
it's not actually from Ubisoft. It's from some random person. So
what do you mean?
it's not the official. It says it's the official world premiere, but someone's just like nicked it off Ubisoft. So we can find the Ubisoft.
dear. So Chris
Yeah,
is
we're watching
providing the wrong link.
Tetra Ninja
Yeah.
is the producer of this video.
Don't rag on someone else's channel, man. He might be a gifted YouTuber.
I just said his name. I said his name. I didn't drag on him at all.
He's got more subscribers than us, so
Well, that's not hard at the moment.
No, it's not. But well, that's it, I think, for episode 2. So we've got everything out the way. That was a bit of a fun episode, I think. I quite enjoyed that. Looking forward to next week. So thank you so much for listening. If you've been able to sort of sit here for the last hour and 20 minutes listening to us ramble, so good job. Appreciate it.
Thank you for going the distance.
Yeah, exactly. If you're even still at this point. If you do enjoy the show, jump onto Facebook, jump onto Twitter. Let us hear from you. Give us your thoughts on the Trailer Lark section. Maybe when it comes to the quiz, maybe we can be given maybe some sort of categories of questions that we could be sort of coming up with. So we're not coming up with our own stuff.
What's the
we will come
email
up with
address?
questions.
Email.
Let me get it out of my
Jesus.
phone. Hang on.
Snappy.
Control@gmail.com.
That sounds about right. So
I knew
control
what it
is
was.
C.
I just wanted Chris to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it is control-alt-record@gmail.com, but control is spelled CTRL. All the links to our email, our Facebook, our Twitter, our YouTube will all be in the description of the episode. So very easy to find us. Thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Cheers. Thank you.